So, Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Yes,
Roll.
Mayor DeZume,
Here.
Vice Mayor Estimate Irvin,
Present.
Councilman Galvin, Councilwoman Timothy,
Here.
Councilman Pierre Franz Charles.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you so much. And now we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance by Major Brittany Horn from the North Miami Police Department, followed by invocation by Pastor Cheryl Sojour of Gateway Four Squares Church, and then we'll move forward. Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening. Please place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor DeZume, city staff and council. May we bow our heads. Oh, Lord, we just thank you that we can come and petition to you. We can come and ask, and you are there to listen. You are the great God of heaven and earth, and yet we can come and we can invite and ask for you to bless this council meeting with your presence. Your presence is full of life. It is full of wisdom. And so we thank you that you would bless every conversation, every decision that is made in this council chamber in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Sojour. Madam Manager, any addition, deletion, amendment to the agenda?
No, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Are we good to go?
Yes, Mayor, the agenda is set. You may proceed.
Thank you, sir. We're going to have special presentation followed by, well, 3 special presentation followed by city announcement with Ms. Tracy Paula. Let's go down. Good afternoon, everyone. This is a special proclamation. Then we're going to have another one followed by Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy. This is special proclamation from the city of North Miami is pleased to issue this proclamation in honor of Arbor Day. And there's a several whereas, which I am not going to read all of the whereas, but the first one, whereas in 1872, Sterling Morton proposed in Nebraska Board of Agriculture that the special day be set aside of planting trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was the first observed in the planting tree in more of 1 million tree in Nebraska, whereas the National Arbor Day Foundation is named the city of North Miami a 2020 Tree City of the Year USA. Now, therefore, in consideration of the foregoing, I, Alex DeSume, Mayor of the great city of North Miami, and the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim April 25th, 25th, the date is wrong in here, 2023 to be Arbor Day in the great city of North Miami. And I do recognize the city manager along with the assistant manager to take this presentation on behalf of the city. Thank you. And we also, yes, please. And also, we just received notice. We were the 2022 City of the Year for a tree in the city. We received that recognition yesterday. I received a letter from the great city. So that is to be commended. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy, and as you know, last week, well, a 2 weeks back, we celebrated National Library Month in the city where we honored the Friends of the Library, but April is also National Guarding Month, and it is celebrated every year since 2003. And during National Guarding Month, we celebrate the great American tradition of gardening at home, at school, and in the community. And tonight we have the honor of honoring Jerry Ann Barrows, who is a dedicated gardener and volunteer at the North Miami Public Library. She is also a master gardener with the University of Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Science. At the library, she has donated many plants, supplies, and volunteer hours with passion, understanding, and a cheerful nature to the how gardens revitalize our library's butterfly garden. Jerry Ann is the host of the North Miami Public Library weekly gardening series at our community garden, where children and their family learn the different components of gardening. So tonight, we thank you, Jerry Ann, for all the work that you have committed to our North Miami Library and to our community, and we celebrate you during National Garden Month. Please come up to receive this proclamation. And so today we have, in honor of National Garden Month, we have declared it Jerry Ann Barrows Day in the city of North Miami for all your honor, for all that you've done at our North Miami Library, which is a jewel in our community. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So we'll go over here. And thank you for the friends for being here to celebrate her.
You want to take a picture, then we'll get them all in the picture? Sure, yes. Come on out. Yes, yes. Everybody, give me a little shirt.
He's fine. Anybody want to come? He can go way back there and get us.
No, not tonight. I just came back. There's a lot going on in life, so. Council members have lives and work outside of being council member. They think all we do is sit around here. Yeah, right, exactly. Thank you. Oh, okay, so yeah, it's in the back trying to deal with some more stuff. Thank you.
And now we're gonna ask our interim chief to please come forward for the special presentation. Yes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Angel Rivera, Interim Chief of Police. It is my pleasure to conduct this presentation as we will be acknowledging the City of North Miami Employee of the Quarter for winter of 2023. And I'm proud to say that it's a department employee, so I would like to call Records Unit Supervisor Maria Salaverdia. Front and center, ma'am. Front and center. Maria Salaverdia has been with our city for approximately 20 years. She's our Records Unit Supervisor, and I could stay here all night talking about all the duties that she's responsible for, but mainly every piece of paper that is authored by one of our officers, and we author about 40,000 reports a year. A lot of them go through her desk. She has to code using special crime codes. She also is in charge of reporting our uniform crime data, both to the state of Florida, the FBI. She processes tickets. She processes public records requests. She deals with my dozen or so questions a day. That's another one of her duties. And one of the things about Maria, who is an Air Force veteran, is that from the very beginning, she brought that military mindset where she is given a mission and she locks on like a heat-seeking missile and will not let off until the mission is done. And I've always, we pile a lot on her, and she just keeps on going, doesn't complain, and just says, "Okay, give me some more." So it is my pleasure, and please join me in recognizing our City of North Miami Employee of the Quarter for 2023 winter, Ms. Maria Salaverria.
In addition to the recognition well deserved, there is a gift card in the amount of $100. Yes, and also the last employee of the year, I gave something personally. I don't remember what that amount was, which I think it's
$5,000.
no, it wasn't 5,000 because we know Councilman Galvin has the money, but I think it's 500. But congratulations! So you will be getting also a small token from us, from the mayor and council, for in the amount of $500. I believe whatever that amount might. It's not 5,000, but thank you, and thank you for your service. Yes.
The councilman?
You took your picture.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, North Miami neighbors, and guests. My name is Tracy Pollock, and I'm presenting the following announcements on behalf of the City of North Miami. Online applications are now available for 2 scholarship programs provided by the North Miami Educational Foundation. The application deadline is 5 p.m. on Friday, April 28th. That's this Friday. For details about both scholarships and to apply online, visit northmiamifl.gov/students. The season of sargassum, also known as brown seaweed, is here. The season will last through October. For more information about sargassum and related meetings, visit northmiamifl.gov/sargassum. Councilman Pierre France Charles invites you to attend the the District 4 Town Hall meeting on Thursday, April 27th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Joe Celestine Center. On Friday, April 28th at 7 p.m., MoCA is excited to present a special edition of Jazz at MoCA featuring New World Symphony Mobile Wallcast with visual jazz by MoCA's Teen Art Force. Councilman Pierre French Charles, in partnership with MJD Wellness and FarmShare, presents a free drive-through food distribution for District 4 on Saturday, April 29th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Sunkist Grove Community Center. Join the North Miami Police Department for a memorial ceremony in honor of the fallen heroes of the department on Tuesday, May 2nd at 7:45 p.m. at the North Miami Police Department. Throughout May, North Miami will highlight the history and cultural traditions of Haiti that have helped to shape our diverse community. Some commemorative events highlights include a weekly Wednesday story time at the North Miami Public Library from 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. and a mental health awareness luncheon and learn on Thursday, May 4th at the Scott Galvin Community Center from 12 to 2 p.m. And we invite you to follow our social accounts for updates on upcoming events to celebrate Haitian Heritage Month. North Miami Youth Council will host the Empowering Youth Summit on Thursday, May 4th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Scott Galvin Community Center. Celebrate Haitian Heritage Month and Asian American Heritage Month with MoCA on Saturday, May 6th. Children will create artwork inspired by a Haitian artist. The following day, on Sunday, May 7th, enjoy story time for the reading of Amy Wu and the Perfect Bio. To stay up to date with NOMI news and events, log on to North Miami's website at northmiamifl.gov. Click on Connect with NOMI on the homepage to sign up for the city's newsletters. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at North Miami FL and on Twitter at NOMI News. This concludes the city announcements. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the special announcement. We have no appointments, so consented agenda.
Move consent.
We have to let her read it
I
first.
know, we don't-
Thank you. Thank you.
Technically, we don't have to.
Consent agenda. Unless a member of the city council wishes to remove a specific item from this portion of the agenda, tabs A through B constitute the consent agenda. These resolutions and items are self-explanatory and are not expected to require additional review or discussion. These items will be recorded as individually numbered resolutions adopted unanimously by the following motion, that the consent agenda comprise of tabs A through B adopted.
So I get a motion on the consented agenda?
Move consent.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the consent agenda, tabs A through B. The motion was seconded by Councilman Charles. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes 5-0.
Thank you. And now tab B?
No,
Tab C,
tab C.
I'm sorry.
Tab C, a proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency fiscal year 2021-2022 second amended budget, authorizing the city manager to transmit the North Miami CRA fiscal year 2021-2022 second amended budget to Miami-Dade County, authorizing the city manager to take all actions necessary to complete the approval process for the NMCRA fiscal year 2021-2022 second amended budget with Miami-Dade County, providing for an effective date and all other purposes.
Thank you. Any
Mr.
presentation?
Mr.
Good.
Mayor, this item was presented to you at the April 11th CRA meeting
Oh.
for your approval, and now this is the city's turn as one of the taxing authorities to approve it and providing us with the direction to send it to the county so they can process it and get it approved by the BCC.
Thank you so much. Public hearing is now open on items tab C. Seeing none, public hearing, oh, that's our photographer. Public hearing is now closed.
Move for approval?
Second.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Estimate Irving to approve tab item C, and it was seconded by Councilman Charles. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes 5-0.
Thank you. Tab D.
Tab D, a proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, ratifying the submittal of a grant application and authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement between the city of North Miami and the Florida Division of Emergency Management to secure a grant in support of a watershed master plan, providing for an effective date and all other purposes.
Thank you. Is there a
Tab D.
quick presentation, Madam Manager? Go ahead.
There is no presentation really necessary. At
Okay.
this point, it's just a ratification of a grant application that we did, and it is for, and Mark Jean, our building official, was going to give you some explanations to it. It's for $150,000. It's working with the Florida Atlantic University, and our requirement would be an in-kind contribution, which is really staff time working on this watershed planning grant.
Public hearing?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. Mayor Jean, City of North Miami Building Department, Director, sorry. Through the city manager, I present this watershed plan grant before you, authorizing the city manager and the city attorney to negotiate and execute the agreement.
Okay.
The proposed, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, the purpose of this Phase 2 FDEM watershed planning grant is to develop a watershed master plan and to get accurate hydrologic and hydraulic models and the supporting data for watershed planning for the city of North Miami.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Public hearing is now open on the item, tab D. Public hearing is now open. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed.
So moved.
Members of,
Second.
okay. I had a question. Repeat the amount again. Is it 150 or 450? 50. Okay,
$150,000.
okay, I just wanted to be sure. Thank you. Madam Clerk, we have the item is moved and we have a second.
We have a second by Vice Mayor Estimate Irving, is that correct?
No,
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have a motion made by Councilman Charles to approve the item of tab D. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Estimate Irving. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes
Ta-
5-0.
Tab E.
Tab E, a proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute a professional service agreement between the city of North Miami and the University of North Carolina at the Asheville UNCA for the development of the second phase of the Climate Change Vulnerability Assessment Part 2 and Adaptation Plan in an amount to exceed $124,916 pursuant to the grant received from the Florida Resilient Coastline Program, the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, and the Office of Resilience and Coastal Protection, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab E.
Thank you. Presentation, real quick, Mr. Estrada.
Okay,
How are you?
good evening. Good
Good
evening,
evening.
Honorable Mayor, council members. Alberto Estrada, Purchasing Director. The item before you is simply a request from the administration through the city manager for your authority to enter into an agreement with the University of North Carolina to conduct the second phase of the city's vulnerability assessment, Part 2, which is funded by an award issued to the city from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection's Resilient Coastlines Program. This is an item that is being submitted in collaboration with the city's Committee on Planning and Development Office, and in particular is being managed and overseen by Ms. Paola Cristina Viala, who was recognized earlier by this council. The purpose of the second phase of this study will be to augment the initial phase of the city's climate vulnerability assessment and will conduct additional flooding threat analysis designed to comply with the standards established by the grant award from the state. And if you have any questions, either myself or Ms. Viala, who's obviously here in the audience, will be glad to take your questions.
Thank you so much, sir. Public hearing is now open on the item. Public hearing is now closed. A member of the council, question?
I just have a few questions. This is the same company that completed the first phase, correct?
That's correct, Councilwoman. Actually, this is a study that is conducted by the Educational Institutions National Environmental Modeling and Analysis Center, which is a nationally recognized applied research center that specializes in these type of studies and assessments.
And is the December 31st, 2023, is that when the study will be concluded? Like, what's the timeline?
I believe that the projected end date, and let me take a quick look, I believe was in 2024, I believe, is the projected end of the study here. If you'd like, please feel free.
Hello, the projected end date is about 6 months from starting, but the grant expires in June 2024.
Okay, thank you. That's all for me, Mr.
So,
Mayor.
can I hear a motion to move the item?
So moved.
Second? Oh, we're on to me.
So I have Councilwoman Timothy approving it, and who seconded? I'm sorry. there was like
Councilman Charles.
Okay, so I have a motion made by Councilwoman Timothy to approve the item, tab E. The motion was seconded by Councilman Charles. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Item passes 5-0.
Thank you very much.
No.
It's free money.
I know, no. I'm looking at, tab F, please.
Tab
They're
F, a
trying to make me
proposed
lose.
resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving an amendment in the housing program guidelines to provide for an increase in the maximum allowed expenditure of funds to be used towards the rehabilitation of qualifying projects from $50,000 to $60,000 for the residential rehabilitation program, and from $25,000 to $50,000 for the CDBG home, ship, rehab, and first-time home buyers program, providing for an effective date and all other purposes, tab F.
Thank you. Any presentation from Social Services and Housing? Madame Bazil, hi.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Albert Bazil, Housing and Social Services Director, to the manager. No, there is no presentation. This item is seeking your approval to amend the housing program guidelines to increase the total amount allocated to the rehab program from $50,000 to $60,000 due to the increase in construction material, inflation, and so forth. And we are also asking you to increase the amount per program from $25,000 to $50,000 across the line from rehab to first-time home buyer.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Before we go to council discussion, I have a couple of questions. The item is open for question. Public hearing. Public hearing is open on the item. Seeing none, public hearing is closed on the item. Members of the council, yes.
I have one. I know we had discussions about also increasing the purchase price of the home. Are we there yet, or?
That's the second item.
Oh, that's the second item, perfect. Because I know it was at the 370,000, so the second item, okay, no problem.
Yes, and since it's I applaud the housing department in terms of doing this, because all across the country, of course, we are in a crisis, but in South Florida in particular, it's no comparison. And we've been in contact and communication with HUD. They do understand, but we do have to keep in mind, by doing this, and this is our argument to them, this lowered the amount of numbers of people that we could service, because obviously we're increasing and they have not increasing their funding. So we've been doing what we can, and we will continue to do so as a council to ensure that they increase the funding that we receive from HUD allocation, because right now, and this funding been going down for years, or stay steady. So we do applaud doing that, but they need to recognize we are in a crisis here in South Florida, and we need more money, and we're gonna get more money. Yes, ma'am.
Mention as well, thank you so much for this item. As you know, for years, I've been begging for first-time home buyers in particular, so I'm very happy to see this increase, and I'm very excited to support this resolution.
If I may,
Yes, sir.
I am also in support of this resolution. The only problem that I have for the first time home buyer. I know the guidelines are like very, very strict and long. What I was thinking is that in trying to help someone who's buying a home for the first time, would it be better for us to allocate that money to the home buyer after everything is done, just trying to make it a lot easier? Because just for the purpose of my own research, I attended one of those sessions in which you have to get the certificate and go into the process. I see it's like a very, very tedious process. And to that, I don't know, from your data, it's like sometimes people are like being easily disqualified, and people would like normally get that money. I don't know if like I'm not talking about now, but in the future, to see if we can work it, work it better so that we can move up with the qualification process more efficiently. So I see you shaking your head. But
this is hard.
I see you shaking your head, but it is. No, I know, but.
The point is valid, but by definition, the program is toward closing costs and down payment assistance. We cannot go around that.
Yeah.
So the only thing that we are doing in the city, Councilwoman is pushing it. We have the service in our place. We assist as much as we can the first-time home buyer to walk them through the process. But this allocation that we receive under the SHIP program, under the home program, it's going directly to the first-time home buyer for closing costs and down payment assistance. We cannot give it after the fact.
And one line that was added, when I was doing my readings, because that's something I do, 2 a.m. 2 a.m. That's what I do when I'm kind of bored, not sleepy, and go over the line that said explicitly
I just
that
go on TikTok.
no, this money is not. This money is not coming.
Not on my
it's not coming
city.
from the
Yes,
city
that's
person.
right. On your
So
city.
that was I like that line.
And
Yeah,
the
yes.
federal government.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So I just wanted to mention that.
Councilman Galvin, yes, they have a little thing going on up here. They're trying to, we got a time frame. So can I call a vote on the item?
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to move it. I had 3 seconds, so.
Yes. I know we're trying to move.
District 1 and 2.
District 1 and 2, that's fine.
Okay. I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item of
I have
type
10 minutes.
F. Motion by Councilwoman Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Yes.
Item passes 5-0.
And real quick, during my report, I was in D.C. Attending the Black Mayors Conference. We'll talk about in terms of HUD and what we plan on doing so that the public will know, because we know that increasing the funding is very important, and we will be doing so to ensure that more people and more homeowners could be serviced under this. The next companion item on tab G.
Tab G, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami adopting the Local Housing Assistance Plan, LHAP, as required by the William E. Sadowski Affordable Housing Act of 1992 and the State Housing Initiative Partnership SHIP Act for fiscal year 2023, 2024, 2024, 2025, and 2025 through 2026, further authorizing the city manager to execute and submit the Local Housing Assistance Plan and other necessary documents to the Florida Housing Finance Corporation for its review and final approval, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab G.
Again, Albert Bazell to the city manager. This item is a returning one. We have that in front of you every 3 years. The last one, you approved it back in 2020. The major changes in this item is really the purchase price that I will say we did it, so we increased it from 382 to 460. I think it's gonna be a good help for the resident of North Miami. We've been having funding sitting, not being able to use it because they cannot find a house for this price. So now I'm asking you please approve this item because our deadline to submit it to the state is by May 2nd.
Yes. Thank you so much. Public hearing is open on this item. Did we open public hearing in the last one? I can't remember.
did.
We did? Okay, perfect. Public hearing is open on this item. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Thank you, thank you. We'll
Move
applaud
for
this.
approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Estimate Irving to approve item tab G and seconded by Mayor Desorme. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's no ordinances, citizen forum at 7:49. And I know we have at least one person. Good evening.
Good evening. Eileen B. Kaba, 13350 Northeast 3rd Court. Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. In CAPR 2018, when the flooding started, the city of North Miami decreased funding for public works. Public works doubled the staff, and the city took $14 million from public works to avoid a state takeover for mismanagement. At annexation, the city increased 3rd Court tax millage rate 300%, with no additional services that were not already available under the county, plus collected this money for 5 years before authorizing the construction that started the flooding. Therefore, I do not accept the city's explanation that we were not part of the city's budget. That's why we were left to flood for 5 years. All the aforementioned money could have been used to build the infrastructure first. Our 300% increase in tax millage rate was also not part of the city. We can't leave the past behind while we face new attacks. The city changed the zoning of the empty land north of 3rd Court from residential to commercial with no setbacks. It increased the maximum pre-annexation density of the single-family homes by 200%. Last November, this council joined a single plat on 3rd Court to others not on the street to potentially again increase the pre-annexation density by 305%. After all the damage North Miami has done to this area, without addressing any quasi-judiciary matter, I ask that the council have the moral fortitude to make and pass a motion that there will be no further damage to 3rd Court through an increase in density. Are you going to be like the abusive husband that says, let me help with the current bruises while you throw another punch?
Please identify yourself.
Yes, in
and your address.
Yes.
I started with that. Eileen B. Kaba, 13350 Northeast 3rd Court.
Thank you, Ms. Bikaba. Sir?
Good evening, Councilwoman, and Mr. Mayor. Edwin Alvarez, 555 Northeast 127th Street. I just have a simple question with regards to the status of the comprehensive plan and where it stands, and specifically, where are we, given that we are in April? So the question is, in lieu of concrete answers, as an example, do we see this being passed or adopted by, as an example, July? That's the question.
Thank you, sir. We'll take the question into consideration, and after I direct it to the city manager. Public hearing is still open. Public hearing is still open. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. He did. I think 555 127th Street?
Yes.
Yes.
555 Northeast
127th Street. Okay, thank you, sir. Public hearing is closed. Thank you. Members of the council, before we go, Madam Manager, he asked about the comprehensive plan that we submitted, that was submitted to the state. I know there's a process. It's coming back.
First of all, I want to thank, that's one of my residents, for coming out and for expressing it out loud in council meeting. He was at our town hall meeting, and we answered that question, so I'm sure that we'll answer the question again. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Ms. Daniel?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Anisha Daniel. As we mentioned at the town hall, it's still with the state, and so we're still anticipating results back from the state. We've gotten some of the responses back, and we're still going through that back and forth process.
question
What I would tell you,
yeah.
our director for CP&D is here, and so I'll have him to contact you, and you can actually have a conversation with him
I'm sorry,
about
who
any
was
further
that?
questions.
Derek, Mr. Coker, thank you. I'm sorry, Cook. Jesus. Thank you. What an evening. And Ms. Bakaba, we took your, well, you know, we had a conversation, and your questions and everything that I take, and I think I advise you to contact each of the council people individually to, you know, whoever wants to. My door's always open to have a meeting with you and do what we do. So we will continue, as we had said, this is the People's Administration, to work as hard as we can, not only to listen, to do the best that we can to answer, you know, your question. And I know within our conversation, the folks on your block, we're listening. And I know you know that. The past is the past, but, you know, and we do, I apologize for, you know, whatever that, you know, the conversation that we have in the folks. But now we're moving forward, and we do need your partnership and your leadership in some of the stuff that we are doing on Third Court, and
Right.
working with the state, with different partners. I know there was a recent meeting between, you know, Ms. Daniel and the county, South Florida Water Management. So we're doing the best that we can, because I can't really, you know, talk about what didn't happen. We could move forward, proactive, and thank you for your leadership on the
Mr.
question
Mayor?
again. Yes, ma'am.
I'd also like to just put on the record that, like you said, Third Court is, I've had conversations with Third Court, with the members of Third Court, and having the ongoing conversation, the city manager's aware, the assistant manager's aware, and we are not ignoring it. I'm going to say on the record again, this is not something that's going to be solved overnight. I am very sympathetic, but I just want to make it clear that this is not being ignored. This is a conversation that is almost a daily conversation in our administration and mayor and council. So I just want to put that on the record.
Mr. Mayor, can I just quickly add 2
Yes.
seconds? At this past Friday, Assistant City Manager Anisha Daniel met with the South Florida Water Management, Miami-Dade County on Zoom, and Ms. Bacaba was also there to understand the issues and the challenges, to see how Miami-Dade County and South Florida Water Management can help with this issue. So we are looking at every way, short-term and long-term.
Yes,
Okay.
immediate short term. Thank you so much. Council report, District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. And just want to start by saying thank you to everyone who came out last Saturday for Earth Day cleanup at Pepper Park. It was a fun event. We had a lot of volunteers. And then on that day also, we planted 6 trees. And just right after, it started raining. So that was the blessing. And and with that, I would like to once again invite every resident of D4, District 4, to our first town hall meeting. That will be this Thursday, April 27th, at the Joe Citizen Center from 6 to 8. Please just come out. This is one way for you to meet with a lot of our departments, and some of the questions that you have every day can be answered. Also on Saturday, April 29th, from 10 to 12, D4 resident, you are invited to stop for food distribution that we're gonna have, but just make sure that you have your license, driver's license, please, so that we will know that you are a resident of the great city of North Miami, and also of D4. Thank you very much. With that, I will yield my time.
Thank you, sir. District 3, Vice Mayor.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. As you know, next month is Heritage Month. I want to thank my colleague. Haitian Heritage Month, excuse me. I want to thank my colleague, Councilman Charles, for co-sponsoring a resolution with me that we just passed. And in May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. To marry the two, on May 4th, as honorary chairperson of the Haitian Heritage Committee, we will host a lunch and learn. The lunch and learn will focus on the taboo of the mental health issues and what impacts the migration from Haiti to the U.S. and has had on the community. It starts at 12 p.m. That's on May 4th, and it will be held at the Scott Galvin Center. On May 13, please join us for another Get in Geared community bike ride. The May bike ride will be in honor of Haitian Heritage Month. And also on May 20th, we're going to have Run Know Me Run for our 5K run. So please sign up and run with us. And the proceeds are going to go to the North Miami Educational Foundation. So that's a good reason to run. And on May 4th, again, join our North Miami Youth Council. Please, if you're not taking the time out to come, but they meet every third Tuesday of the month, I believe it's 5:30. Please take out the time to see our young people in action, learning about government, making decisions. And so they're going to have a youth summit. It's entitled Empowering the Youth, and this event will be at the Scott Galvin Center on May 4th. So on May 4th, you will have the lunch and learn, and then in the evening you'll get to see our youth. So that's the end of my presentation. I yield the rest of my time, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. Before we move to District 2, I just been noted. You want another minute, Councilman?
Yes, it's going to be less than a minute. I just want to say congratulations to SP. She graduated last Saturday.
So proud.
So proud of you. Thank you, Mayor.
What did she graduate with? With what? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now.
She need more money, Rasha.
District 2, then 1, and then I'll go ahead.
On the same token, I think I want to also congratulate Khalid, who also graduated this past weekend, and I know Andre Pierre also had his son who graduated as well. So congratulations to all the graduates. So I know it's graduation season, and also just wanted to take a moment to thank everyone who participated for Earth Day, and special shout out to our MVP Christina Paula and CP&D, who organized an Earth Fair that was next to it was beautiful. It felt like Earth Day at Enchanted Park. So minus the mosquitoes, we'll work on that next year. But and Lola as well. Thank you so much, Lola. It was an amazing time. We were able to 61 volunteers showed up to assist at Enchanted Forest Parks, and look forward to doing more quarterly cleanup in our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Galvin.
No report.
Love it. Mine is real brief. Last Friday, Vice President Kamala Harris came to Miami in change of climate change to make a historic announcement of awarding $562 million, more than $500 million, to 149 coastal communities throughout the entire country. And we were lucky where she singled out, called North Miami, and ensure that we will be getting part of that money for projects. So we were Councilmember Timothy and I were there front row. It does matter when we go into these places in DC doing what we do, because that week I had 2 interactions with the vice president. On Wednesday of that week, I was in DC attending the Black Mayors Conference, where we had so many different interactions, and I want to publicly thank our Congresswoman Frederica Wilson for ensuring that not only she championed all of the stuff that North Miami has submitted to our federal lobbying team in terms of dollars that we are seeking, but they were very, very open to us. Myself and my new Chief of Staff, Misty Brown, we went and spoke to our lobbying team, setting up different meetings with the various different departments. And when the Vice President made that announcement, we were eager. So all of the different projects that we have by this week, we will be submitting them to the administration and making sure our Congresswoman and various folks are doing the proper follow-up. So also, I think I mentioned this, we were named the 2022 Tree of the Year City by, as in honor of Arbor Day. And I think in reference to the meeting that I had in DC, HUD was a priority, transportation and the different projects that the departments gave to us. But we know, and the HUD secretary is aware of the stuff. She was down here in Miami, and we are pushing to ensure that not only that the funding is increased, but we do what we do in terms of the city. So again, that is it. Thank you again, Councilmember Charles and Timothy for your Earth Day throughout the entire, as the other council members and I, it was on a sad note, attending some community funeral, which North Miami and other elected official, the county mayor, and our representative of District 2, Commissioner Bassian, and other elected official attended of two little boys who drowned, twins, and other elected official, all in honoring our late colleague from the great city of Opelika. The vice mayor and Dottie Johnson passed, and may her memory rest in peace, because she was a true public servant, always fighting for Opelika. Vice Mayor, I know you want to say something.
Yes, I'd be remiss, I forgot to mention a big launch that we had, the No Meat Tex. I just want to publicly thank John Loftus and everyone else involved. I remember his name first. Lightship Foundation for the big interest, and we had an event at DeCave, and I mean, it was so nice to see a lot of our small businesses, the interest and their participation in boot camp. So again, thank you for your leadership on that. And on that note, I'd also like to make sure that we remember and recognize one of the pillars of the Haitian community that just passed away, Dr. Pierre Mendez Ascendor. I just want to, again, extend my public sympathy to his family and the partner of our former mayor, Lucy Tondwa.
Thank you. Thank you so much. City Clerk, report?
No report.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Madam Manager?
No report, sir.
Oh, we like this. Anisha?
No report.
Somebody with a report. I'm trying. My time.
Hold on, let me get Vanessa Joseph on the phone.
Thank you so much. This is a record again.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Perfect. Scott, they beat you to it. Thank you so much. Good evening. Thank you.